Is that right?
Yeah, and basically what I do now, I used to do it in the field, but now I just educate people about terrorism and the Islamic cultural war. And used to do screens protecting people from terrorism and that sort of thing. Doing it respectfully and keeping everyone safe, and a little bit, using the Israeli system rather than the American TSA system that doesn't really work too well. And so that's how I kept, there was like 3 terrorist groups in San Francisco when I was working, and they didn't, eventually we monitored them. They never really did anything, but they had training to do things, and they didn't. I think our economy was good, so that helped them not do things. But today we have Hamas and Hezbollah sort of spread out to our country, and that's sort of a problem. And the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes, I know.
So that's a real problem.
It is a real problem here. Yes, it is.
It's a cultural war.
Yes, it is.
Cultural war, and people don't really understand it. And I was telling people that was a cultural war because I noticed the arguments for the last 60 years have not changed on the Arab side. So that meant that something was behind it, because the conditions changed and they were offered land and they offered this and all that sort of stuff. And the arguments never change. That means there's something behind it. And so I was arguing that with someone, and then this professor contacted me and said I was right. It's a cultural war. He's an anthropologist, and his name is Salzman. I forgot his first name. And he did research and he put it in a book called Culture and Conflict.
And you were at the Israel Longhorn Project, IsraelLonghorn.org. IsraelLonghorn.org too as well. You can find it there, or go to LonghornProject.org too as well, so you can find it there too. Yeah, I noticed that. I got your website up. Really, it's all you gotta do is send a donation. That's all you have to do. It's like this network here. We're actually asking for donations too as well. Anybody can contribute, contribution to this network. That'd be greatly appreciated too as well. Airtime's not cheap, so we greatly appreciate that. Go ahead.
If you like the names of those books, I can share them with you. I can
go ahead.
Tell them to you, or I can just give them to you. You can write them
just go ahead and send me to. Just go ahead and mention the books right now. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah. I'm opening up the things I do right. It's the first book is called The Third Choice by Mark Durie. His last name is Durie. And he's Australian. He's a deacon or something in the Christian church, something big. And he did research on slavery in Islam.
Oh, wow.
And so, basically, I'm a dhimmi and you're a kefir. That means subhuman in their culture. And if you're married to a woman, she's lower than you, basically. And they don't think Western women are basically subhuman, lower than men. And the other book is called Culture and Conflict by Salzman, by Philip Salzman. And it shows it's a cultural war. The middle part is a little hard to read because it shows their culture is horizontal and we're vertical. And in the middle part, he goes into a tribal thing showing you how it works and stuff like that. You have to be pretty smart and very detailed to follow it. But the first part and the second part really explain it really well. And it takes a little while to get through it, understanding. If you didn't have an anthropology class to understand it, but if you did, it helps. And the simplest book is The Arab Mind by Raphael Bataille. And the military uses that for the special forces to learn how to deal with Arabs in the Middle East.
Right.
That's their training book, and that book came out, I guess, 50 years ago, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And that's written by a Jew who went to Germany during the Romantic period